Oh, man. Oh, man. What's good, people? All you lovely ladies and gentlemen out there that is tuning in to today's episode. Episode 13. Lucky number 13. Actually, no, I think it's lucky number 7. I don't know where I got that from. I think, isn't it lucky number 7? All right. It's lucky number 7 and then Friday to. Anyway, it's episode 13 of the Lazy Cast. Boom. As you can see, I am your gracious host, as always, Jalen. Side note: if you hear stuff outside, I have my patio open. It's just too hot in here, and people's like, "Oh, you live in Chicago? How is it too hot?" My room, like, puts up summer numbers for some reason, and it gets super hot, even though it's currently 18 degrees outside. Wait, yeah, it's currently 18 degrees outside. Yeah, and that's me. You know what I'm saying? Don't we look alike? Hold on. Don't we look alike? Hold on. Let me stop. But yeah, man. As you can tell by the title, Eagles still on top. And niggas hating. What's new? Yeah, it's when you get it. But yeah, a lot of I've a lot. I have a lot to say about the Eagles. Not even really about the Buffalo Bills game, which was an amazing game, by the way. But I really just have a lot to say about the Eagles in general. And one particular Jalen Hurts that I'm going to get into in just a second. But before I get into that, I have a couple things to say. 3 things in particular. Got to get my YouTube spiel out. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but yeah, a lot of y'all have been showing a lot of support. Especially last video. A lot of people have been commenting on ways to improve in terms of just small things like a thumbnail, looking at the camera, camera this, camera that, filtering, things of that nature. So loving the support, things of that, and people, even if comments, people aren't commenting as much, or I'm not saying as much, but not leaving a trillion comments. For the people that are leaving me feedback and things like that, I take all that into consideration, and I really am, truly am, 100% grateful for you guys. I always will be thankful for you guys, and yeah, just want to say thank you. And yeah, that's really it. And another thing is that it will continue. It is currently I'm late recording this, but because I woke up late, but it's going to continue to be Tuesday, Friday. I think that is a good schedule that I'm sitting on, and that I think will be fine. It'll be different. I would have to see when it comes to when I start working again, and you might get some episodes, because I know for one thing for sure that my birthday's on Friday, and I think I looked at a game or something that I have, and it's on my birthday, so I will not be able to give you guys a recording probably that day, or record that day. I'll probably have to record probably the day before and then drop it on my birthday. So just a heads up, just for shit like that. But so yeah, in other news, the schedule that I have for recording these will be Tuesday, Friday. And yeah, I just wanted to quickly get out and say thank y'all for all the constant support and love that people have been showing on these. Again, I'm just a kid in his room. Not even a kid. I'm just doing this room. That's just doing these because I like talking sports. I just like talking sports, and yeah, I just like doing this, man. So clearly, people like it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And even if people aren't watching, we still keep doing it. So it just helps that people is out there, certain people, whether it be family or friends or people that just stumbles upon this somehow. Even if this is your first episode, thank you for watching. And this is if this is your 13th episode and you've been watching every single one religiously, also thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly get that out the way. Now, I come in here not to play games with you niggas. And by you people, you people, I mean everyone that's talking that talk, unnecessary talk on us. And by us, I mean Eagles. Quick little story. I've been an Eagles fan since I was 5 years old. 2005, 2004, whatever the case may be. I've been an Eagles fan since I was 5 years old. Since this picture. Since this picture, if we're being honest. And I don't think I was 5 in that picture. But I've been an Eagles fan since I was a youngling. I've been there through the ups and downs. I've been there when we was winning a Super Bowl in 2017 when Carson Wentz was an MVP caliber player. I was there when Doug Peterson dragged us out of the Chip Kelly heydays, and we was a mid team, an average team, a bad team. I was there when Donovan McNabb was going crazy with Andy Reid, not being able to make it to the Super Bowl, and if we did make it to the Super Bowl, we was losing. I was there. I was there through all of it. Growing more attached to each player, each generation of Philly. From the mid 2000s to the 2010s to now. I was there. Part of the reason, but one of the main reasons why I watch football for real. I say part because a lot of that also equates to my dad, but part of the reason of why I love the game of American football is because I'm watching this team week in and week out. Even when I didn't really even know the game of football growing up, I knew Sunday, sometimes Monday, I'm watching the Eagles. I'm watching LaShawn McCoy. I'm watching Sean Jackson. I'm watching BD Nick. I'm watching all of them. I'm watching Jason Avant. I'm watching T.O. I'm watching these dudes, man. So if this is a little rant. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to rant. This little rant comes from a place of my love for this team. So I'm gonna try to keep it as unbiased as possible. Because two things have occurred this past weekend. One, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Buffalo Bills 38-31. Phenomenal game. Game of the year. Instead of the stuff that I thought I would see after this game, Eagles, and I've seen some of this. I'm not going to say it's been all negative. I've seen some positive shit with the Eagles. But a lot that I've seen is really negative. I've seen a lot of negative stuff coming from it. And it wasn't even this bad when we beat the Chiefs a week before. It was not this bad when we beat the Chiefs a week before. It was, wait till they play Buffalo. Go in and beat Buffalo. All I've seen is two things. One is that the Eagles, the luckiest team damn near ever, it seems like, pushing that agenda. And that Jalen Hurts is overrated. Where the fuck is this coming from? Hello? Can someone tell me where this is coming from? Because if anything, I'm not finna sit up here and try to push this agenda that the Eagles are not a lucky team and do not catch breaks. And I'm not finna sit here and try to push that and say that we have a perfect team with zero flaws. No. If anything, like I mentioned, to the people that's been watching me, or if you've just been watching Eagles games, you can see that this team is far from perfect. Far from perfect. No, not even close. Nowhere near close. There's no team in the NFL right now that is perfect or zero flaws. Zero. I'm talking to you 49ers fans. I'm talking to you Ravens fans. Talk every single team. Period, point blank. No. Get out of here. So, with that being said, when this lucky label keeps getting thrown around to the Eagles, yes, the Eagles have had countless of breaks. But when did we go from the Eagles ain't beat no fucking body to last season? We ain't beat nobody. Made it to the Super Bowl, we lost. Took it on the chin, boom, kept it pushing. We didn't beat nobody. So this year, when we're beating comp and we're beating contenders, not just playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders, now we're lucky. Now it's all the Eagles they ain't really on shit for real. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. When do we go from lucky to our opponents are just simply making dumb mistakes and we capitalize on it? Is it our fault that Josh Allen and Gabe Davis can't get their fucking right routes correct? No, that's not our fault. That's not our fault. Is it our fault that Patrick Mahomes threw a dime to MVS and he dropped it on the goal line? No. But they won't talk about how we held the Chiefs to 0 points in the second half. They won't talk about Jalen Hurts leading a game-winning drive to set up Jake Elliott for a 60-yard field goal and him setting up another game-winning rushing touch. They won't talk about that shit. They won't, and I'll get into Jalen. I'm about to get into Jalen Hurts. They won't talk about none of that. They won't talk about none of that. They won't. Because it's easier just to say that this team is overrated, this team is lucky. When they play comp, even though the Bills and the Chiefs and the Cowboys and Miami was supposed to be comp, but we beat those teams. But when we play comp being the 49ers, oh, no, this shit going to be changing. Again, I have said all year long, from week 1 to week now, that the 49ers and the Eagles are the two best teams in the NFC. Depending on who you have as one, it does not matter to me. I think the Eagles are the best team. I've heard people that say the 49ers. To me, 1A, 1B, it really don't matter to me. It really doesn't. It does not matter to me. It doesn't. Because those two teams are two of the most stacked teams in all of the NFL. From top to bottom, both sides of the ball. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact. That's not even an opinion. It's not. So there's only that team, the 49ers, and another team in the AFC that I truly feel like I would be scared of or fear for the Eagles, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. And we don't play them this season. So the only time that we could realistically play the Ravens is if we meet them in the Super Bowl. Other than that, we play the 49ers next week. And the team with the best record in the entire NFL is coming into this game as underdogs. I need to say that again. The Eagles, the team with the best record in the NFL, with a record of 10-1, is coming into this game against a team that is 8-3. Not a bad record at all, but a team that is 8-3 as underdogs. Be so fucking for real, bro. Be so fucking for real with me right now. We're not finna do this. We're not finna sit here and push this agenda. We're not finna sit here and do this. We're not finna sit here and do this. Two things can be right at the same time. That is 100% true. Yes, the Eagles have had breaks. Yes, the Eagles have been lucky. Yes, the Eagles have had countless times where they've been bailed out. I'm not finna sit here and say that they haven't. But let's not try to take away from what they've done good for this season, in particular against the Bills. Let's not sit here and act like the Eagles haven't been down back-to-back weeks as a whole, as a team, on both sides of the ball. Against the Chiefs, down 7-17, holding the Chiefs to 0 points. Not 3, not 2, not 1, not 0 points. Donut, goose egg. 0 fucking points. And coming back to beat them 21-17. At one point, how was that? Is that lucky? Is that lucky, or is that just good defense and our offense finally clicking? Tell me. Please tell me. being down 7-17 again to Buffalo in the third quarter, being down 24-14, coming back to winning the overtime. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? Again, when does that go from being lucky to capitalizing off our opponents and just, I don't know, being good? When does that happen? When do we start getting credit that we deserve? Again, two things can be right at the same time. The Eagles have been lucky. They've had breaks. They've been bailed out. But let's not sit here and act like that this team is not good. Great even. And you know what's crazy? You know why I think a lot of people are really starting to get on the Eagles? Is that we have not seen the best of the Eagles. We have not seen the best of this team. We haven't. We have not seen the best of this team. We haven't. We have not seen the best of this team. We're 10-1, and we're still not even at the highest peak that I feel like we can be or that we should be at. And we're still winning games. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Again, at some point, that lucky label is going to have to drop. At some point, that lucky label is going to have to drop. And just be, the Eagles are just good. But it's hard to beat this fucking team. It's going to be hard to beat this team. Again, sooner or later, the lucky label is going to have to drop. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm just being so fucking for real with y'all. On to Jalen Hurts. I have seen a lot of Jalen Hurts is overrated. I have seen a lot of Jalen Hurts is only good because of the pieces around him. I have seen a lot of Jalen Hurts is nothing without that O-line. It's nothing without A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. It's nothing without DeAndre Swift. A lot of yapping. A lot of fucking yapping. Yap. A lot of it. So, before I even pressed record, you know what I did? I used my phone. I used my laptop. I did research. So before you niggas start yapping, a lot of you, and this is specifically coming from 49ers and Cowboys fans. A lot of this is coming from 49ers and Cowboys fans. Cowboys fans, please shut up. I'm just be honest. I'm gonna be blunt. Please be quiet. Please stop. Please stop. Because you niggas know if there is an opportunity for you to get Jalen Hurts and give up Dak, y'all niggas would do that in a fucking heartbeat. So please be quiet. I don't want to hear it. I don't. And there's Cowboy friends that say, no, I'd rather have Dak. Let them drop. Let them sit to their demise. There's no saving them. There's no saving them. There is none. Don't save them. Let them be delusional. Let them be stupid. There's no saving them. There's none. There's none. Same with you 49ers fans. You niggas would take Jalen Hurts in a second. Take Jalen Hurts in a fucking second. Opposed to another quarterback that is good because of the system, because of the pieces around him, and because of his coach. Brock Purdy. Overrated? But he gets credit. He gets credit. He gets credit. Jared Goff, same situation. Phenomenal O-line. Great wide receiving core. Solid running backs behind him. Good coach. Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. I ain't hear shit about niggas calling him overrated. Dak Prescott, decent O-line. Solid wide receivers. Good running back. Solid defense. Niggas are saying Dak is better than Dak is having a career year. But he can't beat a team over 500. But he's not overrated. Let's stop this. Stop this shit. Because one thing that Jalen Hurts has that a lot of other QBs don't have, not all, but a lot of other QBs can't say that they got, is that he is clutch. I don't throw around that clutch label too much, but goddamn it, he is clutch. Oh, I'm just saying, I'm just talking, I'm just speaking. Let's look at the numbers together. Shall we? Let's look at the numbers together. real quick, before I even get into the game, and this is more about the game. I have my own reserves about this game as a whole. But let's just look at these numbers themselves. Who do you see as number one in the NFL? Who do you see as number one in the NFL right this second? Who's that? Jalen Hurts. And what does that say at the top? NFL game winning drives year by year. What year is it? 2020 fucking 3. What is this supposed to symbolize? Him being the him being first in terms of clutch drives. He's tied with first with Russell Wilson and Desmond Ridder with 4 game-winning drives this season alone. And if you don't want to believe me, please pick this up. Pick this up. Type it in the laptop. Because I'm not pulling these stats out my ass. I'm not. I'm not grabbing them from thin air. I'm not. I'm not just grabbing these stats. I'm not making these up. This is a fact. And you want to know what's even more crazy? Out of these 4 game-winning drives, 3 of them has come in the fourth quarter. What does that tell you? I don't see Brock Purdy on this list. I don't see Dak Prescott on this list. Hell, dare I say I don't even see Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, who was Mr. Clutch himself. I don't see any of these niggas on this list. Where are they at? Oh, it's been a down QB year. All the QBs have played bad this year. Oh, so when it comes to Jalen Hurts, and I said this, by the way, in my midseason award, that QB play as a whole, including my quarterback, has not been to what we're usually expecting from the usual candidates. Patrick Mahomes having a down year. Josh Allen having a down year. Joe Burrow can't stay healthy, but even then was having a down year. Justin Herbert, down year. You know it's crazy. You know it's a down year when Sam fucking Howell is leading the league in passing yards. You know it's crazy. You know it's a down year for QBs as a whole when Sam Howell is leading the league in passing yards. Let that shit sink in. Let it sink in. Let it sink in, please. Sam Howell, Washington Commanders QB, is leading the league in passing yards. Some of you niggas out there don't even know who Sam Howell is. My point exactly. And I'm not finna sit here and push the Sam Howell is bad agenda because he plays phenomenal against us. He's had a good year this year. But if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. For the people that are upset that he's an MVP favorite or thinks that he does not deserve, and I'm talking about Jalen Hurts, doesn't deserve to be MVP, I agree with you. I don't think he deserves to be MVP. I don't think no quarterback deserves to be MVP this year. I said even in my mid-season award predictions, which I said you can go watch, by the way, that it should go to it should go to a skill position. It should go to either Tyreek or CMC. Because Tyreek most likely is going to hit 2K. And CMC, without him, we've seen that the 49ers cannot run an offense. He's the only thing that's the functioning thing. He's breaking all type of records. He's the thing that's making the 49ers go. Not Brock Purdy, not George Kittle, not Deebo Samuel. Christian fucking McCaffrey is the reason that they're going and they're as good as a team as they are on the offensive side of the ball. So I even advocated, I said one of them two should win it. But because it's a quarterback award, 9 times out of 10, it's going to go to a quarterback. So I said Lamar should win it. Because what was all the talk about Lamar coming into this season? Lamar can't pass. Lamar isn't a true quarterback. What happens when you give him a new OC, give him weapons to throw to? and continue, and also still as versatile he is on his feet. Excuse me. You have the Ravens, who has the best record in the AFC, number one seed in the AFC, and that's why I said Lamar should be MVP. I didn't even say my own favorite quarterback in the league should be MVP, because even I know that this year for quarterback play has been down. And if you don't believe me, let's look at Jalen Hurts' numbers this year. And by no means do I mean that him, Mahomes, anybody are having a bad year. I'm saying to the standards that we normally hold these top tier quarterbacks to, they're not playing up to those standards. Looking at these numbers right now, for this year, these are his numbers. 67% completion, basically 2,700 yards, 18 touchdowns, 95 QBR, along with 10 interceptions. By no means are these eye-popping numbers. By no means. I'm not finna sit here and act like, oh, these are phenomenal numbers. These are fucking MVP caliber numbers. No. The reason he's MVP favorite right now, a plus 25, is because he's one of the best quarterbacks on the best team right now. Does that mean he should get it? No. And if you're saying he's overrated in that sense, fine. I get it. I understand. But don't sit here and call him overrated because of the weapons that he has around him. I don't know if y'all been watching. AJ Brown have not been on that 125 streak these last two games. Guess who's been going crazy for him? Devonta Smith. Is Devonta Smith a top 5 wide receiver in the league? Top 10 even? No. I'm not finna sit here and act like he's ass. He's not. He's all pro for a reason. He's a good wide receiver, great wide receiver even. But let's not sit here and act like that this man is not making plays for his team or putting his team in position to make plays. Kick 60-yard field goals with Jay Elliott. By the way, fucking beauty. Or put himself in a position to set up his teammates for either a game-winning run, to do the tush push or whatever it's called, or to hit AJ, Dallas, Swift, whoever, Case, whatever, for a touchdown, for a game-winning drive. This man, the difference between him and, like I said, 99% of quarterbacks this year is that this nigga is clutch. He makes big plays. Big time players make big time plays. And this man is the definition of a big time player making big time plays. What are we doing? Niggas just sitting here acting like Jalen Hurts is all of a sudden dog shit doodle butter. No. When half of you niggas would rather have him instead of your starting QB. Half of you niggas, like I said, 99% of you you fan base people, of you haters, Eagles haters, Jalen Hurts haters, would rather have him on your team than your starting QB. I say 99% because obviously there's Patrick Mahomes. I would rather have Patrick Mahomes than Jalen Hurts. I would. Because Patrick Mahomes is the best QB in the league. I would rather have him. Other than that, some of you niggas would be thankful to have this nigga on your team. But for some reason, when he's wearing the silver and green, oh, this nigga's overrated. Oh, it's the coaching. Oh, it's the system. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's the pieces around him. Blah, 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 blah. When there's tons of other quarterbacks in that same fucking situation, but they get praise and he gets hate. They get their credit and he gets called overrated. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Am I saying he's the perfect quarterback? No. Am I saying he's having a phenomenal season? No. Compared to last year, like I said, this is a down year. Compared to last year, no. Jalen Hurts is not having a phenomenal, eye-popping numbers jump off the page to you type of season. But let's not sit here and act like this nigga's ass. Let's not sit here and act like that he's not a top 5, top 3 QB in the league right now. Be fucking for real, bro. Be fucking for real. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, dude. I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm tired of people trying to push this agenda that he is simply only good because of the players that he has around him and that he's not clutch. All that agenda, all that shit was being pushed hard all over the weekend. And it's still being pushed. You know how many times I've heard from people, seen it on my TL, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Just these last 5 games alone, basically 70% completions, 29 attempts, 1,115 yards, 155 yards, 8 yards per average, 231 yards per game, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks, QBR of 110. Does he have a fumbling problem? Yes. Jalen Hurts has a fumbling problem. Yes, he does. But I would expect that from a QB that is constantly running the ball. And also I would expect that because half the time it's on miscommunication with Kenneth Gainwell, who I got something to say about Kenneth Gainwell. Half of the time is because he's handing off the ball to that fucking dead fucking dude, and he's not being ready for the ball. You don't know how many times I've seen that this season where Jalen Hurts hands it off and the running back just doesn't know what to do with it. It's miscommunication. Shit happens. It happens. Let's stop this Jalen hates overrated. Let's stop. Stop trying to push that agenda, people. Stop it. Like I said, man, you guys, let me big screen myself. And I'm talking to a lot of 49ers fans. Y'all better pray that we do not beat y'all next week. Y'all better pray that we do not beat you guys next week. Please. Pray that we do not beat the 49ers next week. Pray that we do not win out, beat the 49ers, beat the Cowboys, and beat the Seahawks. Please, we could lose every single game after that. We could lose. I don't care. We could lose every single game after that, and I would not care. Because we beat 3 of the best teams in all of, 4 of the best teams, 5 of the best teams in all of the NFL. And niggas gonna still push that agenda that we lucky. When the fucking Cowboys and the Dolphins can't beat teams over 500. When the 49ers can't win games without Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy can't look like a competent quarterback unless he's handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. He's doing check downs and slants and angle routes to Christian McCaffrey every other fucking play. Yeah, okay. Be so fucking for real. You niggas is finna turn me into a hater. You people are finna turn me into a hater for other teams, and I don't even like pointing fingers like that. I don't like pointing fingers like I don't like doing that stuff. I really don't. But when it comes to my team, obviously I'm gonna defend the Eagles. But also when it comes to just people hating for no reason, or 2, just hating because they don't like us, it gets to me, and it's consistent. Because y'all football fans, are weird. Y'all Twitter people is weird, dude. Weird. Very weird. So, like, it's not even weird when it comes to this football shit. It's like y'all don't watch the games. And guess what? Y'all don't watch the games. I can guarantee it. Half of you fucking Jalen Hurts haters don't watch Eagles games. Because if it's not a primetime game, or if it's not a team, if the Eagles aren't playing your team, or if it's not a primetime game, I guarantee you're not watching the Eagles. I'm put money on it that you niggas is not watching the Eagles for real. I'm watching these niggas every week. I'm watching them. I'm with my own two eyes. I'm watching them every single week. I know our flaws. I know Jalen Hurts' flaws. I know our defense, in terms of our secondary, is not great. I know that in times in games, our offensive defense can't get on the same page. I know that at times that we have been down in these past 2 weeks, to the Chiefs and the Bills, both losable games, to where our opponents didn't capitalize. Not our fucking fault. Not our fault that you, Chiefs and Bills, can't capitalize. That's not our fault. Y'all was up 24-14. Y'all was up 7-17. We were down. Y'all should have beat us. Not our fault y'all scored. Y'all got skunked in the second half, Chiefs fans. Not our fault that Josh Allen and Gabe Davis can't connect on the game-winning touchdown. It's not our fault. It's not. It's not. It's not. And for the niggas saying ref ball, Eagles paid the ref, they're talking about one fucking call. One call. When it was a horse collar. One call. One. When Josh Allen ass is flopping his little white ass all over the fucking field on a roughing the passer, is it ref ball then? Is it ref ball then? Is it? Where's the ref ball then? Oh no, you can't hit him. You can't hit him in the face. Defense, you can't hit Hassan Reddick. Hit him in the face. Justin Herbert got his ass blasted by Baltimore. Blasted. Not a single roughing the passer call. That's not that. Where's the ref ball with that? But Hassan Reddick makes a routine sack on Josh Allen. Where's the ref ball in that? Hello? Nothing? Okay then. So shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Shut up. Be quiet. You niggas is mad because y'all teams have so many opportunities to beat us. So many opportunities to beat us. And y'all didn't do it. Not our fault. That's all I gotta say, man. Like I said, y'all better pray and hope that we do not beat the 49ers next week. I'm being realistic. I would be shocked if two things happen. I would be shocked if the 49ers blow us out, and I would be shocked if we blow out the 49ers. I would be shocked. I would be. Because I'm realistic. I watch these games. I'm 1,000% sure that this game is going to come down to a game-winning drive by either quarterback. Whether it be Brock Purdy, whether it be Jalen Hurts. I would be shocked if either team loses by double digits. Because these are two of the best teams in not just the NFC, but in all of football. So again, I won't be shocked. I would be shocked if this game results in a blowout. Don't let us blow you niggas out. Oh Lord, don't let us blow you out. Oh Lord, because I'm coming on here talking so much shit. Don't let us blow you out. Don't let us blow you out. Don't let us skunk you niggas 45 nothing. Don't let us beat you 35-7. Don't let us beat you 28-3. Don't let us do that. Do I think it's gonna happen? No. If anything, this game is probably gonna be 35-32. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, this is a very losable game for us. This is a very losable game for us. Because if we go down 7-17 again, the 49ers as a team as a whole is a team that will actually probably capitalize off that and won't allow us to come back. Opposed to a Bills team, opposed to a Chiefs team. Like I said, man, don't let us don't let us win out. Don't let us win these next 3 games. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't let us win these next 3 games. Because I'm coming on here, talking so much shit. It's not even gonna be funny. Don't let me come back on here and have us win. Like I said, we can lose after the Seahawks game. We can lose every other game. I don't care. Hell, after the Cowboys game, we can lose every other game. I would not give a shit about. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because before, when we was playing the Dolphins, that's going to be our first real comp. Beat them. Oh, y'all play the Chiefs. That's the biggest test. Beat the Chiefs. Oh, no, I ain't going to play the Bills. That's real comp. Why can't we just get that we're just beating good teams? Why can't we just get, hey, y'all have some, y'all on some shit, but y'all beating some good teams. Niggas finna tell me all of a sudden the Chiefs ain't a good team? Niggas are finna tell me all of a sudden the Miami Dolphins aren't a good team? People are gonna tell me all of a sudden that the Bills aren't a good team? Nah, but when y'all play the 49ers, that's real comp right there. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I can't see any niggas. I can't. Y'all move the goalpost so much when it comes to Philadelphia, it's not even funny. Y'all, people move the goalpost so much when it comes to us, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like I said, don't let us win against the 49ers next week. Don't let us win. That's all I'm going to say. Don't let us beat the 49ers next week. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave it at that. Week 12 recap, man. Damn. Y'all got me high up in here, man. Y'all done got me high talking about these damn Eagles. But yeah, man. That's my quick little rant that I had to get that off because y'all don't know how much of that I've seen on my timeline of Twitter and Instagram and hearing it on sports shows and talk shows. And yeah, I need to get that little thing off. Speaking of the Eagles, let's actually go through the numbers and the stats and talk about the game a little bit. Because this was, like I mentioned, this was a good-ass game. This was a really good game. Josh Allen had a phenomenal game against us. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Gabe Davis had a really good game against us. Stephon Diggs, decent game against us. James Cook was running all over us. It felt like we couldn't stop him. Him and Josh Allen was running all over us. It felt like we couldn't stop neither one of them niggas, it felt like, on the ground. But looking at the stats, Josh Allen completed 29 of his 51 passing attempts, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and also 9 rushing attempts and 81 yards on the ground, along with another 2 touchdowns. Gabe Davis, 6 receptions, 105 yards, 1 touchdown, along with Stephon Diggs having 6 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown as well. The Bills as a whole play solid. Josh Allen played phenomenal. Had a great game. But this dude also had a good fucking game. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Let me not before I get started again. Jalen Hurts completed 18 of his 31 passing attempts, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. QBR rating of 96.2. DeAndre Swift, 14 rushing attempts, 80 yards, no touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 14 rushing attempts, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns being the game-winning touchdown, the game-winning QB draw that he had in overtime. Essentially, that sealed the game. So no, I don't want to join your newsletter. So yeah, as a whole altogether, 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns on the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them on the day. Just let that sink in, just a little bit. But yeah, Devonta Smith, like I mentioned, balled out. These past 2 weeks have been balling out. Our best wide receiver hasn't even been playing remotely to the level that we've seen him play. But yet, our talent and every. Let me stop. I gotta stop. Devonta Smith, 106 yards, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. AJ Brown, 5 receptions, 37 yards, 1 touchdown. Zacchaeus, 1 reception, 29 yards, and also a touchdown. Also doing this without Dallas Goedert, our tight. Let me stop because I'm getting out of myself. But yeah, it was a good game. It was a great game. I've said enough. I've talked enough about the Eagles. I'm gonna move on. Just wanted to show y'all the stats. Just wanted to show y'all the stats of the day. So let's go over all of the Thanksgiving games. Now, looking at the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving Day, beat the 8-3 Detroit Lions, Super Bowl contending Detroit Lions, by the way, as a lot of people was ready to throw out that Super Bowl contending word. Like I said, I wanted to wait for this reason alone. I didn't expect these niggas to lose to to Green Bay, but hey, shit happens. Any given Sunday, I guess. But Jordan Love had himself a day. Completed 22 of his 32 passing attempts, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks on the day. QBR rating of 125. Oh my goodness. AJ Dillon has fell off a cliff. 14 rushes, 43 yards, 0 touchdowns. Christian Watson, on the other hand, has not fell off a cliff. Had himself a day. 5 receptions, 94 yards, 1 touchdown on the day as well. Jordan Love these past 2 weeks, I've been seeing a lot. Jordan Love these past 2 weeks has been really showing me something. Shout out to Jordan Love, man. Shout out to him. I saw this stat that him and Aaron Rodgers, like their rookie year, had the same record, like 5-6, the same amount of passing yards, same amount of touchdowns on the year as a whole. I'm not saying he's going to be a franchise guy or even close to the level that Aaron Rodgers is. However, I don't know. Green Bay, I might got y'all something in Jordan Love, man. But looking at Jared Goff on the day, completed 29 of his 44 passing attempts, 332 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but was sacked 3 times, but had a QBR rating of 103.6. David Montgomery on the day had 15 rushes, 71 yards, 1 touchdown, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 11 rushes and 54 yards, 0 tutties. Amon St. Brown had 9 receptions, 95 yards, and 0 touchdowns on the day, while Sam Laporta had himself a touchdown along with 47 receiving yards, and Josh Reynolds also had a touchdown on the day as well. Detroit, these past couple of weeks, has looked, I don't want to say bad, because they played the Bears last week, if I'm not mistaken. They played the Bears last week, like I mentioned. And even in that game, they struggled. I get it. It's a divisional game. Division teams and division rivals are going to play those teams harder than they would, say, an out-of-conference team or out-of-division team. But even still, it's the Bears. And I'm not throwing shade at the Bears because obviously they won this week, and I'll get into that. Being the Detroit Lions, being 8-3, they still have a lot to learn, obviously. And that's why I was hesitant. I wasn't so quick to throw around that Super Bowl contending word with Detroit because these past 2 weeks, they haven't looked like Super Bowl contenders. They've looked, dare I say, a little pedestrian. And while Jared Goff is still having a pretty good season, I would easily say is a top 10 QB this year. And I don't think that's a wrong or bad thing to say. There's been times where the offense has looked stagnant, defense can't cover nothing. I don't know what it is, but they looked a little stagnant. I'm not gonna lie to you. So obviously, when we looking to see who they play next week, should be different. Hopefully, they get back to their dominant ways. Because Detroit, I believe, before their bye week, they were like really dominant. They were really like giving it to motherfuckers. They were like beating the brakes off teams. Outside of obviously the Baltimore game, they've really been like on top of their shit, and they've been beating a lot of teams, contending teams that they're supposed to beat, like, or at least making games competitive. They just look like they couldn't get their footing for a good chunk of this game. So hopefully they're able to bounce back. I'm not gonna, sit here and say that they're not a playoff contending team because they're currently, I think, tied for second with San Fran as the second seed right now. So they're still a playoff contending team. But in terms of Super Bowl contending team or Super Bowl contenders, that's why I was so hesitant to really push that label on them as everyone else was, because I just need to see it in come playoff time. I just need to see it come playoff time. When you have teams like the Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, Bills, Eagles, those teams you could say are playoff contenders or even Super Bowl contenders because we've seen them not only in the regular season do it, but also do things in the playoffs that really solidify, like, yo, these teams could realistically make it to the Super Bowl. In 49ers as well. I forgot about them. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. I need to see them do it in the playoffs. I need to see them do it in the playoffs because this team, compared to last season, went from I want to see this team be more competitive, I want to see this team actually make noise, to actually this season being like, okay, you'll have the record, you'll have the pieces, you have the coaching, you have a very loud fan base that is, happy to see y'all winning and supporting y'all, is giving y'all all the push and drive and everything that y'all need. Now we need production. Now we need to see something. I'm not saying y'all need to make it to the NFC Championship. I'm not saying that if y'all don't make it to the NFC Championship, it's a bust year. I'm not saying if y'all don't win the Super Bowl, it's a bust year. I'm not sitting here saying that. However, if they aren't the second seed and they have to play in the wild card game as a third seed, I would rather not see them lose in a wild card. I'm just saying. I would rather not see these motherfuckers losing a wild card. I would rather not see them get blown out come divisional playoff time and they have to play either the Eagles or the 49ers. And they can snatch up that second seed and stay, get that bye week off. Hey, go crazy. But if not, I need to see a little something in the playoffs. Just something. Just something to show me that y'all are for real. Just something. I need to see something in the playoffs. Regular season, I take it with a grain of salt. Yes, I love that the Lions are a top 3 seed, one of the best teams in all of football, and is playing phenomenally compared to last season. I love that. However, I don't want to throw around that Super Bowl contending word. So, because Super Bowl is the top of the top. The top of the top. Can you really compete at the highest stage, at the highest level against one of, if not probably the best team in that level, at that atmosphere? I don't think they can. And it's not me hating. It's not me doubting the Lions. I just haven't seen it because this is their first year in a long time being actually good. Last year, they were decent. Couldn't defend for nothing, but could score with the best of them. Now that they have the same offense that can outscore a lot of teams, but also have a defense that can shut down a lot of teams, the expectations for y'all goes higher now. Because I don't want to see y'all have the same outcome as to be like, well, regular season wise they're phenomenal, but playoff time they fall flat for me. Again, I'm not going to be too hard on them because, like I mentioned, this is the first time in a long time that the Lions have been good. And they're still relatively a young team. So they have time. They have time. If this was an old ass team like the Rams, when they said fuck them picks and brought in nothing but all pros and shit like that, and they underperformed, then yeah, that's a different story. But because this team is young, because they have a hungry head coach, and because I think that the pieces around in terms on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, whether they keep Jared Goff or whether years down the line they try to go get another QB at the helm right now, I think you keep Jared Goff. Can you win with Jared Goff is the question. It's yeah. Can you win with Jared Goff is the question. So, like I said, I'm not going to be too hard on them because this is the first time they've been really good in a very long time. So I'm not going to be too hard on the Lions, even come playoff time. I just need to see something before I can brand them as like, yeah, the Lions are fighting alongside the Eagles and the 49ers to in that NFC championship. No, they're not. They're not. I'm taking the Eagles and the 49ers. Hell, probably even the Cowboys over the Lions. If it came down to an NFC championship game or even a playoff game just in general. So yeah, like I said, I just need to see it. I just need to see it. I would like to see them bounce back next week, get back to their winning ways, get back to their dominant style of playing ball, and get back in the win column. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that this team is ass. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that they're not playoff bound. All those things are not true. I'm just saying let's pump the brakes on calling them a Super Bowl contender. Let's just pump the brakes on it. Not yet. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, to the other Thanksgiving game that happened, we have the Cowboys beating the Commanders 45-10. No shock there. I'm laughing because there's a dog screaming his lungs out, barking. But yeah, no shock here. It's really cool. The Cowboys. But the one thing that the Cowboys gonna do is they gonna beat the brakes off a team that is not that good. That is one thing that the Cowboys are gonna do, and they're going to beat a team that isn't good. So yeah, there's the stats. If you want to look at it, Dak had himself a game, 22-32 completion, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Tony Pollard, 79 rushing yards, a touchdown. Cooks, Lamb also had a touchdown, along with Turpin. And Sam Howell, 300 yards on the day. I think, again, if Sam Howell, the thing about him is that when I was going on my rant earlier, it wasn't to say that Sam Howell is a bad QB. Like I mentioned, this is coming from an Eagles fan that has seen on 2 different occasions now Sam Howell torch us. 2 different occasions. He has potential to be a very solid QB in this league. He has very good potential to be a solid QB in this league. Dare I say, an all-pro QB in this league one day. However, he has problems. He's still a young QB. He has a turnover problem. If he limits those turnovers a little bit and ups his touchdown production, because he's sneaky athletic as well. He can run, he can scramble. Then yes, it would be nice to see that from Sam Howell. As a divisional rival, I hope he never develops, but as a football fan and as wanting to see young players develop and be good, those are the two things. Limit the turnovers and just experience with time. He's young. This is his second year in the league. So I'm not expecting much from him in his second year in the league. But second year in the league, leading the league in passing yards, it's not bad. It's not bad. And the game that I thought last week was going to be close, I said it could have gone one or two ways. Either the 49ers blow out the Seahawks or the game is close. And the latter happened. The 49ers blew out the Seahawks 31-13, pushing the 49ers to 8-3. Either they take sole possession of second place or they're tied with second with Detroit because they obviously have the tiebreaker between them and Dallas because they beat Dallas. But yeah, just looking at the numbers, looking at the stats, Brock Purdy, efficient game, solid game, didn't need to do much. 21 of 30 passing attempts, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Christian McCaffrey had himself a day, 19 rushing attempts, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day, along with Deebo Samuel having a rushing touchdown. The 49ers go as far as this man takes them. Christian McCaffrey. I will stand by this. I will die on this hill. The 49ers go as far as Christian McCaffrey takes them. Do they have a phenomenal defense? Absolutely. Do they have a scary 1-2 punch in Chase Young and Nick Bosa? Absolutely. Do they have a solid O-line with one of the best O-linemen of this generation in Trent Williams? Absolutely. Do they have one of the best tight ends also of this generation in George Kittle? You damn right. Do they have the best running back in the league? Yes. They go as far as he takes them. Because we've seen what happens when he's not on that field. We've seen what happens when he is not playing. We've seen it. They lose 3 in a row and the offense looks non-existent. This man should win MVP. Again, coming from an Eagles fan, him or Tyreek Hill should win MVP. Without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Because the things that he is doing for this offense, he is the offense. He is 100% the offense. You need him to run. You need him to block. You need him to catch. You need him to run the ball 30 to 40 times. He can do it. You need him to go out there in the slot as a wide receiver and get 7-6 receptions, give you a bunch of yards. He can do it. Need him to block. He can do it. He can do any and everything for this team and then some. This is why this team is so scary, not because of their defense, not because of their quarterback, not because of their wide receivers, not because of their coaching. It's because of this man right here, Christian fucking McCaffrey. 1,000%. 1,000%. Does all those other factors play in to the 49ers being a very good team? Absolutely. But this man right here is a different animal, different beast. Dude's nasty. The definition of a goat. Excuse me. So, yeah. Looking at the wide receivers, looking at receiving, Deebo Samuel, 7 receptions, 79 yards, 0 touchdowns. Brandon Aiyuk, 2 receptions, 50 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. George Kittle has been, really quiet this season. I don't know, man. I don't like just the people that we're used, like stars, like the stars of this league have been like really quiet this season, especially at tight end too. Outside of like Laporta and like Mark Andrews before he got hurt, Travis Kelsey was hurt, but then came back and hasn't really produced. George Kittle has had moments, but hasn't really been crazy this season. But I think that's what makes this team so dangerous is that one player doesn't need to go off for them to win. That's what makes them so dangerous. Christian McCaffrey can go have this type of a game or can go have a game where he only rushes 10 times and has only like 45 yards. But Debo Samuel can pick up the slack because he can also play running back. He can also pick up the slack because he can play wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk is a solid wide receiver. George Kittle, like I mentioned, is one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in all of the NFL. So, Jesus Christ, 6 sacks? My Lord. That's crazy. But looking at the Seahawks, um, I don't know what's wrong with this team. Oh wait, I do. Their offense is very stagnant. Their offense has looked very, very pedestrian these past couple of weeks. It has not looked good. And it doesn't help that they're playing Dallas next week. And then right after that, they're playing us, the Eagles. So they have very tough stretch of games. So yeah. Um Geno Smith, I don't want to say it was a fluke last season because again, he's shown moments this season. But granted, you can sort of give the O line a pass because they were playing against Nick Bosa and Chase Young and also Terran Armstead on that D line. But God, 6 sacks? Giving up 6 sacks? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's something. And it's not this isn't just this game. This isn't just this game where they gave up a lot of sacks or a lot of pressures and a lot of hurry ups. It's been like this a lot lately. That Seahawks O line is not good. It is not good. And then same thing on that D line. That D line is rarely getting any type of pressure to the QB, making any type of disruptions. Again, this is just a bad game to go off because it's the 49ers. But even before this game, the Seahawks as a whole has looked like stagnant. They've looked like middle of the road team. They've had their moments where they looked like the Seahawks of last year. And then they've had their moments where it's like, oh shit. Geno Smith is going back to his Jets days. Like he's looking bad. That old line is not helping. So yeah. Hopefully they can figure it out and do something. But DK, Tyler Lockett, Nigba, you really gonna Noah Fant even just couldn't get nothing going, man. Couldn't get nothing going. And they just had one of them days. And it does not get easier because they're playing another really good defense in the Dallas Cowboys next week. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see. But moving on from the Niners and Seahawks, we had a Black Friday game with the Miami Dolphins beating the Jets 34-13. Um, It's really nothing much. I have like once the Seahawks. Once the Dolphins was up, it was like 17-6. The game was pretty much over with. It was like you kind of already knew. The Jets were hanging around there a little bit, but once the score, I believe in like the second or third quarter, I think it was in the second quarter, they were up like 17 to yeah, they were up 17-6 going into halftime. You kind of already knew, yeah, the game's over. It was because the Jets offense is not good. Offensively, it's just not good. Quarterback play is not good. Um, And just defensively, the defense can only do so much against one of, if not the best offense in all of football in the Miami Dolphins. So there's only so much you can do. So yeah, it's really nothing else. However, a team that offensively has seemingly turned it around, while another team is still struggling, injury prone, injury problems. The 7-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. Never thought I would be saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-4 this season, but the 7-4 Pittsburgh Steelers beat the 5-6 Bengals. If you told me by week 12 that the Bengals and the Bills would be out of playoff contention currently, I think the Bills are currently the 10th seed, and the Bengals aren't too far behind them. If you told me that both of those teams would be out of playoff contention this year, I probably wouldn't have believed you. And that the not the Seahawks, that the Steelers and the Texans and the Colts would have better records than those fucking teams, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Not gonna lie, not gonna hold you. But looking at this game, the biggest story that came out of this game is that as a whole, the Steelers put up 400 yards as a team. 400 total yards as a team. The first time, not only this season, but obviously firing Matt Canada, their former offensive coordinator, just looking at these offensive numbers alone and how they just demolished the Bengals offensively and obviously defensively, having one of the best defenses in the league. 421 total yards, 268 passing yards, 153 rushing yards. Made Najee Harris look elite again. This man, Najee Harris, hasn't looked elite in like 2 years and made him turn back the clock. 22 first downs compared to 10. Like 68 total plays, having a time of possession, 37 compared to 22. I rarely look at these type of numbers, but for the Pittsburgh Steelers, in that sense, you got to. You really got to. Pat Freiermuth having 121 receiving yards on the day. 121 receiving yards on the day. It's obvious that Matt Canada was the problem. It seems like now that Kenny Pickett is unlocked. Now, this doesn't, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are, elite offensively. I'm not going to sit here and push that agenda. However, it just seems that you have a team now that is buying into the system. Players are actually excited on the offensive side of the ball. Players are playing to their true potential that we can see and that we've seen for them and about them for a very long time. This is one of the best Kenny Pickett games I've seen probably all season. 24 of 33 passing attempts, 278 yards, QBR rating of almost 197.8, basically 98. Najee Harris, who I mentioned earlier, has really been Jaylen Warren all year long as like the real number one RB1. But Najee Harris has been waking up. 15 rushing attempts, 99 yards, and also a touchdown, with the longest run being 22 yards. I'm just saying, looking at receiving, had two other receivers outside of Pat Freiermuth that had 50 receiving yards in Deontay Johnson and George Pickens that had 58 receiving yards. And Pat Freiermuth, who's probably going to benefit the most because what QBs and tight ends have essentially are like this because that's their safety blanket. So expect to see Pat going crazy these next couple of weeks with 120 yards. Again, no touchdowns, no passing touchdowns, but baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. 400 yards, first time this season. Matt Canada never, I believe, never achieved 400 total offensive yards with that Steelers offense. Never did that. Crazy. So yeah, Steelers should be interesting to watch going forward and for years to come. Looking at the Bengals, however, this was not an interesting game to watch for them if you're a Bengals fan. The one thing I will say watching this game, why didn't they give the ball to Joe Mixon more? Why didn't they let him run the ball more? This unacceptable. 8 rushing attempts, 16 yards. I get it. He had a solid receiving day, 2 receptions, 44 receiving yards. But you can't do that, especially if you don't have Joe Burrow back there who can really dice up a defense like that. Why would you not rely on your running back? Joe Mixon, who's not just a Joe Schmo running back, he's a really good running back. He's one of the best running backs in the league. He's not some 3rd, 4th, 5th string guy. He's a true running back, RB1. Why would you not lean on him more when you have your backup QB in? Granted, he had an okay day, completed 19 of his 26 passing attempts, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick, was sacked 4 times. I can see why, maybe, because that D-line, that Pittsburgh D-line was just too much. But even still, give him more than just 8 attempts. Give him more than 8 attempts. There ain't no way in hell that Joe Mixon's longest run was 4 yards. Only 4? His average was 2 yards per carry? Gotta do better than that, man. Got to. Cincinnati, I think you can chalk it up to mainly injuries as to what's been messing them up for this entire season. Joe Burrow came into the season not healthy, and then also getting hurt in that Baltimore game. But defensively, the Bengals giving up 400 yards to the Pittsburgh Steelers isn't good. Again, for a team that hasn't had 400 yards this season at all, this team just looks just beat and just out of it. It seems like it to me. It just seems like this team is beaten out of it, and it seems like if Joe Burrow's not out there, they can't win. Even if it's like a 10% Joe Burrow, these niggas just don't got it. It seems like, and that's it's interesting. It's very interesting. But some games that I'm not gonna do too deep dives on because is what I've already been recording for 1 hour and 20, so I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Patriots lose to the Giants 10-7. Boring game. I think it was. I was watching Red Zone, and I remember the score was like 0-0 for the longest time. It was 0-0 for a really long time. So yeah, this was a boring game. Giants won. Bill Belichick most likely is not going to be the coach for the Patriots coming into next season. Not because he's bad as a coach, but there's only so much you can do. And Mac Jones, he's not that great. Bailey Zappi also is not good. I feel for him. I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked if Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft and the Patriots go their separate ways. I would not. Will it happen? Probably not. But I would not be surprised if it happens. I wouldn't be. Looking at the NFC South, we have the Falcons. The Falcons, number one seeded Falcons, by the way, beating the Saints 24 to 15. The Colts beat the Buccaneers 27-20. The Titans beat the Washington Panthers 17-10. Oh man. Talking about feeling bad for a quarterback. Man. Bryce Young, you've got to feel bad for that guy. It sucks. It sucks so much when you look over in Houston at the second pick. CJ Stroud is having one of the best rookie years ever. He's having one of the best rookie years ever. And not only that, he has the Texans in playoff contention. He has the Texans at 6-5, tied for second in the AFC South. You've got to feel bad for him. Because the team, his head coach, Frank Wright, not good. Or at least I don't think right for that situation. Wide receivers, he's got none. Running backs, he's got Miles Sanders, who hasn't been productive because that O-line is going to get Bryce Young hurt severely because they can't block for him. Defense is non-existent because also everyone on the defensive side of the ball is hurt. So you got to feel for him, man. I feel bad for Bryce Young. That's why for a lot of people that are sitting here calling Bryce Young a bust, for one, we throw around that bust label way too quickly. We throw it around so quick and so fast that we've been spoiled. We've been very spoiled as sports fans, not even just football fans, but as sports fans. You know how quickly people was calling Scoot Henderson a bust? Within like 5 to 6 games of the NBA season, not even after a full year, after like 5 or 6 games of the start of the NBA season, people was already calling him a bust. I think because we've been spoiled to seeing a lot of great players be great straight out the gate. In football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be. We've seen a lot of players be great, be straight out of the gate. Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't help that he was essentially great when he started playing for real. Cam Newton, breaking all type of rookie records. Chet, Vic, it doesn't help that them niggas are having phenomenal years as rookies. Not as second, third year players, as rookies. It does not help. I know this transition to basketball, but I'm just to get my point across. It does not help. It does not help that we've seen other players have phenomenal years, and you have these other prospects that were super hyped up, like a Bryce Young, like a Scoot Henderson, be super hyped up, and it takes them a little bit longer. And by a little bit longer, in this case, the season is basically over for Carolina. Like, there's no way that they could even be close to the playoffs, let alone be productive. But in Scoot Henderson's case, we're not even in January yet. We're not even in December yet, and people are ready to call him a bust. Please, I'm an advocate for young players, and I say this all the time when it comes to young players. Give young players a chance. Please. Give them a chance. Now, I can understand if this was Bryce Young's 4th year, and he was still performing like this, okay. If Scoot Henderson was in his, 3rd or 4th year and still performing like this, okay. You have a valid argument. I can see it. But when this is their rookie year, first year playing pro sports, pro football, and pro basketball, relax, bro. Can we give them some weapons? Can we give them some time to develop? Can we give them time to adjust? Can we give them just time in general? Please? Please? Can we just give them time in general? That's all I'm asking for. Now, down the line, these dudes continue to be ass and continue to not perform at the way that they were hyped up to be, then yes, they are bust. But let's not just jump directly at them like, oh, they're bust. Oh, they're bust. Who the fuck is making the Carolina Panthers a playoff contending team? Right before the year started, they traded away the number one wide receiver in DJ Moore. I'm pretty sure Bryce Young would love to have a DJ Moore to throw to week in and week out. But who is his best receiver to throw to? Adam Thielen. Big drop off. Big drop off from DJ Moore to Adam Thielen. Not no shot or diss to Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen at best is a wide receiver 2. Maybe a wide receiver 3. At best. Come on now. Let's be serious, bro. Let's just be serious. But anyway, moving on, the Jaguars, the 8-3 Jaguars beat the 6-5 Texans 24-21. The Rams beat the Cardinals 37-14. The Chiefs go on to beat the Raiders 31-17. And the Browns lose to the Broncos, who have won 5 in a row. Let that sink in. I know I've been talking a lot about the Eagles, rightfully so, but man, the Broncos started the season 1-5, 1-5, and have won 5 in a row. Amen. And let's look also. Let's look at the teams that they've beat, because they ain't been beaten. They haven't played. They haven't been playing scrubs. Let's look at the teams that they beat now: Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, and now the Browns. Outside of the Packers, all these teams have winning records. Let that sink in. Outside of the Packers, all these teams have winning records. And the schedule don't get no easier. They have the Texans, the Chargers, the Lions, the Patriots, the Chargers again, and then the Raiders. This isn't, outside of probably the Patriots, this isn't an easy schedule. Outside of the Patriots, this is not an easy schedule. This is a difficult schedule. Chargers are going to play well regardless. Even though the Chargers aren't going to make the playoffs, they're still a decent team. Lions are a playoff contending team. Raiders is a divisional game. And the Texans is also a playoff contending team. So this is not a schedule to just, to scoff at. They've beat some people now. Remember when I was talking about game-winning drives and being clutch and being a top 10 quarterback or top 5 quarterback? Now, this dude isn't a top 5 quarterback, but he's damn sure a top 10 quarterback. Russell Wilson. Guess who's up there with Jalen Hurts in game-winning drives? Tied for first with 4. Russell Wilson is a big reason why this team, the Denver Broncos, have won 5 in a row. So let's give this man his flowers. Let's give this man his respect. And let's give this man his credit. Because I have not seen a lot of people talk about this Denver team, because this has probably been the quietest 5-game winning streak I've ever seen in my life. This is probably the quietest 5-game winning streak I've seen in my life. Ever. In any sport. In any fucking sport. This is the quietest 5-game winning streak I've ever seen. So yeah, shout out to the Broncos, man. And shouts out to Russell Wilson. You niggas wrote him off, including me being niggas, because he had a very bad year. But you brought in Sean Payton, actually gave him time to develop and adjust to this Broncos offense. and let him get back to his usual ways of making plays. Last year, he was very stagnant, it seemed. He wasn't, the Russell Wilson that we know and that we seen in Seattle. He was very stagnant. Didn't really have a chance to make plays outside of the pocket, which is where he's best at, I believe. This year, all you see is Russ in and out of the pocket, making plays, rushing in for touchdowns, improvising. Things that he's good at, things that he knows like the back of his hand, things that he's best at. So yeah, man, shout out to the Broncos. Shout out to the Broncos. Very big win as well against a very good defense as well in the Cleveland Browns. So yeah, shout out to the Broncos. Moving on, prime time game of Sunday, we have the Ravens beating the Chargers 20-10. And the Monday night game, we have the Chicago Bears beating the Minnesota Vikings 12-10, which just happened yesterday. One of the ugliest games I've seen in a very long time. Just looking at the stats, just looking at this right here. 3-3, 3-0, 6-7. Justin Fields led a game-winning drive, so shouts out to him. Hopefully one of many, but I think as a parent that he is the quarterback for this team. I'm talking about Justin Fields. However, there are still a lot of problems with this team. DJ Moore is not one of those problems. 11 receptions, 114 yards. You know what help? Probably going to get another really good wide receiver, wink, wink, Marvin Harrison Jr., wink, wink, in the draft. I think if they get him and have that 1-2 punch of Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, and I think they have the 1 and 3 pick, the 1st and 3rd pick, or 1st and 4th pick. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. Use that 3rd pick to go get some type of a pass rusher, something dealing with offense. Something dealing with defense. Even though defensively held the Vikings to just 10 points, and prior to this game, the Vikings with Josh Dobbs looked phenomenal. But this game looked like his usual self back in Arizona. Completed 22 of his 32 passing attempts, 185 yards, 1 touchdown to 4 picks, also getting sacked 2 times. And I bring up the 2 times because the Bears have really nobody on their defensive line. So I'm just saying, man, good win for the Bears. Vikings, bad. This is a bad loss. Bad loss. It's a very, very bad loss for 2 reasons. One, playoff contention. Obviously, they're not going to be first in the NFC North. I think the Lions have that locked up clear as day. I don't think anybody in the NFC North is going to touch them. But in terms of trying to get a wild card spot, I think they can still get it, but this is just a bad loss. And this is just a bad look. Because now they talking about benching Josh Dobbs. There's talks about benching Joshua Dobbs going into week 13. So I believe they're on a bye week, or I could be wrong again, but I just want to make sure and see. Yeah, they're on a bye week, so they have a lot to figure out in terms of the Vikings. This was just a bad loss and a bad look and a bad performance going into the bye week for Josh Dobbs and the Vikings. So, but yeah, that is all of week 12 wrapped up in a little bow. I'm going to quickly go over week 13 real fast and just give my predictions on the games and go over some basketball stuff, and then that'll be the day. So yeah, looking at these games, let me see. I don't even think I need to really. I think it's obvious what my game of the week is going to be. Even if I wasn't a fan of either one of these teams, this is just This is just probably the biggest game of the week, with the 49ers going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Like I mentioned earlier, with the 49ers being 2.5 favorites over the team with the best record in the league. So gotta wait to see what happens. In terms outside of that, we have some decent games. The Cowboys taking on the Seahawks. Like I mentioned, the Broncos going to Houston. That should be an interesting game. That's really it. Those are really the only 2, maybe 3 games I'm interested in going into week 13. Other than that, a lot of these games are just like just a filler week, if I'm being honest. This feels like a filler week. Yeah, this feels like a bad filler episode or some shit like that. But yeah, man, that's all in terms of football. Let's go and look at the NBA. Now, as you can see, I have November 26th to November 27th as a recap, just for the simple fact that nothing really happened yesterday. Nothing really happened yesterday to recap, and then I kind of feel like I've been neglecting basketball a little bit just because football has just been very, very active because my team, the Eagles, have been, we're in a stretch where we're playing, some of the hardest football, no, some of the hardest teams in all of football. So yeah, I'm strictly just doing this just because I feel like I've been neglecting basketball just a tiny bit, just a smidge. So this is strictly just to make up for all the times. But looking at last night's games, I believe there's games that's going on right now. Like the tournament is happening right now. In-season tournament, I mean. Oh, wow. This is interesting. The Bucks are up by 3 going in the fourth quarter. Oh, looks like we're winning. Looks like we're going to win this game. So that should be fun. The Thunder and the Thunder and the Timberwolves are in a close game. Damn. Bulls got smacked. Yeah, these are games I expected how them to go. The Warriors and the Kings are playing each other for like the 10th time already this season. That should be nice. But yeah, I keep scrolling past this team because let me just get my shit off real quick. So Josh Giddey, if you have not seen or heard or been on Twitter or whatever, Josh Giddey is in some trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. Because allegedly, because still don't know what is going on both sides, on his side and the young lady's side. Allegedly, Josh Giddey, who is 21 years old, has been with or was in multiple pictures, multiple videos, and things of that nature with an underage female, an underage girl. Now, he played in Saturday's game, I believe, against the Philadelphia 76ers. The NBA has been said that they're going to do investigations into the whole Josh Giddey situation. The reason I was hesitant to come on here to really talk about it is just because that simply we don't have the full facts. I'm not going to take a side in this situation. I'm not going to lean towards Josh Giddey's side and say things about the girl. I'm not going to lean on the girl's side and say things about Josh Giddey because we simply just don't know the full story. Now, there's been a video circulating of Josh and the young lady inside of a bar with alcohol in their hands, with drinks in their hands. So maybe she's of age, maybe she isn't. It's a lot of speculation saying that she's a junior and she's 16 years old or something like that. So again, all this is alleged. None of this has been confirmed or denied. Josh, when asked about it, At practice, he said, I understand all the conversation and all the talk, but I'm just not going to answer. So that was a bad look. I'm not gonna lie, but again, all this is alleged. Is a bad look for a really good team, a really good young team. And if all this does turn out to be true and the girl is 15, 16 years old, then Josh, you got to get out. You got to go, buddy. You got to go. You got to get him out the league. But if it's on the other hand and that she was of age or she is of age and lied or she lied about her age or whatever the case may be, then that's a different story. Then you go about it a different way. However, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in as to why maybe I haven't talked about it or there wasn't a wake-up call or anything about it. Like, oh, Josh Giddey's a pedophile or whatever. Let's chill. Let's chill. All this is alleged. If he did do it, then get him out of here. But he got to go. If he didn't do it, or something dealing with the girl, she lied about her age, or blah 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 blah, then it's a different story. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. It's the people who probably be like, "Oh, why didn't you talk about the Josh Giddey situation?" I just don't know the facts, and I'd rather not give my opinion on something as serious as this and be wrong, because this isn't just basketball. This isn't Josh Giddey versus, I don't know, Steph Curry. I'm just using it as an example. This isn't something that I can just sway on both sides. Like, oh, I'm leaning towards Josh Giddey. Oh, no, I'm leaning towards Steph Curry or some shit like that. This is something that is serious that could involve jail time for one. That one being Josh Giddey. That can involve of him losing his NBA contract, never playing basketball again realistically, and probably never seeing the sunlight ever again. So that's why I'm not gonna jump and rush into it like a lot of other people are very quick to saying like, hey, Josh, you're this, you're that, blah blah blah, you're cooked, blah 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 blah. So that's all this. All this is alleged. None of it's been confirmed. None of it's been true by either party, by either side. So just wanted to get that out there. Anyway, back to basketball. Looking at last night being the 27th, again, nothing eventful of any type of note. You know what I'm saying? My Wizards, you know what I'm saying? Big pull, you know what I'm saying? Leading them. I'm joking. Can we talk about Jordan Poole for like a minute? Cam Thomas is what I thought Jordan Poole was going to be. I said it. Oh, man, because he's been like really bad. He's been really bad. But outside of that, the 76ers beat the Lakers by 44. Jesus. The largest loss in LeBron James's history as an NFL player. The Trailblazers beat the Pacers 114-110. With Tyrese doing Tyrese Halliburton things, putting up 33-9, with Jeremy Grant putting up 34-7. The Wizards, like I mentioned, beat the Pistons, who I believe haven't won a game since they started the season 2-1. So they've lost 14 straight games. Crazy as fuck. Kyle Kuzma had 32, 12, and 8, along with Cade Cunningham having 26, 5, and 7. The Jazz barely beat the Pelicans 114-112. Zion had 26 and 7, while Jordan Clarkson had 16 and 10. And the Nuggets, without Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, beat the Clippers 113, who had everybody, by the way. 113-104. Reggie Jackson led the Nuggets with 35 and 13, along with DeAndre Jordan having 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 fucking assists. When has DeAndre Jordan ever put up 5 assists? Jeez Louise, man. The Nuggets are probably the best team in the league. Still, even despite their record, is this Nuggets team is very good with Kawhi leading the Clippers with 31-8. While the Clippers are not what I thought they were going to be. Quickly looking at the standings again, I'm not going to do this every single week. Looking at the standings and things of that nature. I'm not going to do this every single week or every single time I talk about basketball. But I just like doing it here and there, especially looking and comparing at some of my predictions that I have for teams. Like the Clippers, I thought they were going to be up here and they're down here. Same thing with the Phoenix Suns. Well, they're not too far. They're a 4 seed. They're, 2-3 games away from, they're 1.5 games out of first place. So that's not too bad. But the Timberwolves, how many of you niggas said the Timberwolves was going to be a first seed? How many of you niggas said the Thunder was going to be a top 2 seed? I thought the Thunder was going to be around here. I thought the Thunder, I said they had potential to be a 4 or 5, maybe even a 3 seed, but I did not think that they were going to be 2. How many of you niggas had the Magic winning 7 in a row? The highest win streak in the league today. Tied with the Phoenix Suns. How many? Show of hands. And if you showing your hand right now, you're a liar. Because nobody had them. Nobody had them doing that. I'm just saying, man, the league is funny. The league is interesting, man. But yeah. Yeah, man. It's let me stop. It's cool, man. It's nice. I'm losing my mind. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, but looking at November 26th on Sunday, the Bucks. That's not the Bucks. The Bucks beat the Trailblazers 108 to 102. Probably looking, why am I even talking about this game? Because the Bucks completed a 29, the largest comeback this season and the second largest in franchise history. 29-point comeback. I think they're down like 81 to 55 at one point, and had a crazy ass run, and just was phenomenal. So shout out to the Bucks. A lot of people in the comments when I was watching the highlights for this game, because I didn't catch this game live, a lot of people in the comments, man, the Bucks are bad. They shouldn't be down that much to the Trailblazers in the begin with, blah, 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 blah. And I understand that. I get that. But shut up. Not too much. Making valid points, but not too much. Let me stop. But no, all jokes aside, I've had my reservations about the Bucks. Defensively, I said it before the season even started that we were gonna drop off. I think defensively, before the season started, a lot of people said that the Bucks were gonna drop off, especially on the perimeter. Obviously, without Drew Holiday, but I haven't been disappointed with Dame. I haven't been necessarily upset with his performances. What I want to see him be a little bit more efficient in terms of shooting the ball and things of that nature. Yes, I would personally want to see him be a little bit more efficient. But however, he's making up in terms of efficiency. He's getting to the free throw line. Niggas is calling him a free throw merchant. I don't know what you want him to do. Tell your team tell the defenders to stop fouling. Boo-hoo, nigga. Cry in the river. Like, stop fouling him. I don't know. Niggas was not doing this shit with James Harden. James Harden was doing. He was the best offensive player in the league. Dame Lillard does it. He's a free throw merchant. Hey, make it make sense. Now, am I saying they're going to be able to do this in the playoffs? Obviously not. That's why I'm saying I would rather see his efficiency go up, but if he's still impacting the game, if he's still being impactful also in the passing lanes, not playing phenomenal defense, but trying on defense, facilitating the ball, shooting the ball, and also getting to the free throw line instead of just being a traffic cone, I would much rather have that than him not trying at all. So just my 2 cents on it. The Timberwolves beat the Grizzlies 119-97. I don't know what Ja can do when he comes back. It'll be very interesting to see when Ja Morant comes back. Because as of right now, the Grizzlies have played 16 games. Or let me see. Because do they play today? We won, by the way. Mm-hmm. The Grizzlies don't play today, and they didn't play yesterday. So as of right now, they've played 16 games. So they still have a decent amount of time before we, as a fan and as a whole, see Ja Morant come back. So I'm looking at it right now. They have 9 more games until Ja Morant comes back. 9 more games until Ja comes back. So I don't know. Jaren Jackson has 100% been disappointing to me. Desmond Bain, um, on the other hand, hasn't. He's been actually doing the best he can to carry this team. Also, with Marcus Smart being hurt now, tweaking his ankle, being out for, I believe, 3 to 4 weeks, doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. But man, this Memphis team has a lot of work cut out for them. Because even when Ja Morant comes back, I don't think that this team automatically becomes winners and becomes basketball again. You still got to get used to it. So yeah, man, we gotta wait and see. I generally would not be surprised if Memphis does not make the playoffs or probably comes in as a play-in team. So we'll see. Magic beat the Hornets 130-17. D-Book beat D-Book and the Suns beat the Knicks 116-117 with a beautiful fade away over the double team. The Cent is a game winner. The Celtics beats the Hawks 113 to 103. The Cavs beat the Raptors 105 to 102. The Nets beat the Bulls 118 to 109. And Jokic and the Nuggets beat the Spurs 132 to 120. All right, ladies and gents, that is it. That will be the end of episode. Excuse me. That will be the end of episode 13. I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope I didn't rant too much about the Eagles. But yeah, man, I really could have just made this all football. Really, probably should have just did. I probably just made this all football. But yeah, man, I will see you guys Friday, and hopefully with some more basketball news, because it would have to be, because I don't report Thursday night games as they happen, and I don't think there's going to be another Friday football game this Friday. So, but yeah, let me think. Any other news? Like I mentioned, um, Windy City Bulls happening. So a lot of a lot of days, and we might get episodes on a Thursday. You might get episodes on a Saturday, opposed to usual Tuesday, Friday. Just for the simple fact that I may be working that day, or I may be, just not gonna have time to record. So just a heads up, coming into the month of December. Hopefully, I doubt I'm gonna be able to record on my birthday unless I record early as hell, which I doubt it. But most likely you get a pod on my birthday. So that should be fun. In other news, that's pretty much it. Not that anything else I could really think of. Thank you all for coming back again to the Lazy Cast. I'm your gracious host, Jalen. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on today's episode. Let me know your thoughts on Eagles. Do you think excuse me? Do you think Jalen Hurts is overrated? No troll answers. 100% honesty. Do you think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles as a whole are overrated? Please let me know down in the comments. And if not, tell me why. Tell me who you thinks is the most overrated quarterback or the most overrated team in the league today. And I'm gonna go edit this and try to get this all out to you. Get this out to y'all. Probably tomorrow morning, just for the simple fact that it's 9:22 at night on Tuesday, November 28th. But we'll see. I'll probably get this out to y'all early tomorrow morning. So, but yeah, love you guys. Thank you all for coming back. Like I mentioned, every Tuesday, Friday. I will see you guys later this week. And that's it. I gotta work on my